So if you're a big Bitcoin guy, right, get Peter Schiff on board, get me to accept Bitcoin, and you accomplish a lot. So I initially sent a string of 3 replies to Elon Musk. So my first reply was, as an engineer, you should know the distinction between a tangible element like gold and a mathematical string of numbers, which is Bitcoin, that there's a huge difference. Gold does not need miners to power its existence. The laws of physics do that. Gold provides owners with optionality. When you have gold, you can do 3 things with it. You can use the gold yourself, right? As a conductor of electricity or whatever. You can improve the gold, right? I can take the gold and I can make some jewelry out of it, or I can just hold on to it. Now, when I'm holding on to it, I'm holding it so that somebody in the future could use it or improve it. That is the store of value that gold has. It is a metal that can be used or improved.
Gold functioned as a currency, as a money, as a medium of exchange for thousands of years. Just because we're not using it now doesn't mean it hasn't proven that it can be used. Bitcoin has never been used by any society. So to say that it will one day is nothing but pure speculation.
I don't think people are saying that anymore. I think I agree with you, Peter, but I don't think people are saying that. They're saying it's no longer, it could be used potentially, theoretically. I think you can get a vending machine, the guy bought a pizza, whatever. I agree 100%, but they're saying it's a store of value.
Okay, but here's the thing. So if it's never going to be used as a currency, then what the hell value does it have that you're storing? See, when I'm storing my gold, right? When I'm not using my gold, when I'm melting down my gold and I have it in a bar, I am storing that metal because somebody in the future is going to need that metal.
And if you don't want to do it yourself, you can hold on to it until somebody else wants to do it, right? Bitcoin, you can't do any of that. I mean, you can hold it, but you can't improve it and you can't use it. And neither could the person who eventually buys it from you. All you can do is hold on to it and hope that somebody else wants to buy it. People don't get it, and neither does Elon Musk, because he still doesn't see gold as a metal and understand the difference between a actual metal and just a string of numbers on the internet. Then I addressed the other part of his reply to me, having to do with an email confirming ownership of gold is not the same thing as gold. Right? Now, what did he mean by that? Well, what Musk was referring to is, let's say you buy gold from a third party who does not deliver it to you, right? Like when you buy gold from Schiff Gold, we take your gold, put it in a box, and send it to your house. So you actually get the gold in your hand. What Musk is talking about are circumstances where you buy gold, but you don't actually get sent the gold. Maybe you get an email that says, hey, we just, you bought gold and we're holding it for you. And so you have an email. And he says an email, that says you have gold is not the same thing as actually having gold. And so the way I addressed that in my reply, I tweeted, an email confirming gold ownership, either from a private vault or a government, is but a secondary layer of trust. You can confirm this trust on your own, while Bitcoin's ostensible trust layer requires a network of miners spending 5% of the market value of Bitcoin every year to do it for you. Right? Now, to expand on that, because, with Twitter, you just have a short tweet. Look, if somebody sends me an email that they're holding my gold, I own that gold, right? I can verify with that third party. I can send somebody down there to look at the vault. I can ask them to send me a photograph. What's the number of the bar? There's a way to verify third-party ownership of your gold, right? And you can always take delivery of that gold at some point in the future.
So let's say you had a brokerage account and all you had was common stocks, and you had no cash, right? You just said common stocks. If you put the stocks in a margin account, right, you could just take that debit card and just start buying stuff. And it's like, well, I'm using my IBM to buy a pair of socks. Well, technically, no, because the guy that's selling you the socks is getting dollars.
A lot of people own stock in Tesla. And a lot of people who own that stock, in fact, everybody who owns that stock, they don't have the Tesla share certificates in their hand. They have them in a brokerage account. and their broker sends them an email that says you bought 100 shares of Tesla. Well, is that not the same thing as owning Tesla? Don't you still own it, even if it's in your brokerage account and you don't have the certificate? Yes, you own it, right? According to Elon Musk's own logic, you might as well own crypto than Tesla, because if you have Tesla in your brokerage account, you don't really own it. Of course you do. This is all nonsense. But he's acting as if when you have Bitcoin, you don't have to trust anything. Yes, you do. I mean, every time you do a Bitcoin transaction, the transaction has to be verified. The miners have to verify it. That's why the transactions take so long. They're not instantaneous. They can take hours because miners around the world are verifying these transactions. And it's very expensive. In fact, if you look at the total cost of verifying all the transactions, it's about 5% of the total market cap of Bitcoin. I mean, that is enormous. But then in another tweet, I went into his understanding of money. This is really where he displays his lack of understanding. Because he said money is data, right? That's what he said. Money is just data. No, it's not. Money is not data. Money is an actual good in and of itself. Money was an improvement on barter because instead of trading, one good for another, you just traded goods for gold, which was in and of itself a good. So if you paid somebody in gold, you were paying them with something of value in exchange for the thing of value that they gave you. Now, they may not need the gold, meaning that maybe they're not a jeweler or they're not a chip manufacturer, right? They don't actually need the gold, but somebody needs the gold. There's so many things that you can do with gold.
And that gold came from the collision of two enormous neutron stars. And that happened perhaps 5 billion years ago in our region of the galaxy. And the neutron enrichment, basically a giant atom, not of 56 neutron, but 10 to the 56 neutrons or something like that, coming together, the shrapnel of which produced the gold.
It is actually the most useful metal of all the metals on the periodic table.